What you want? Oh, I see you, Joe. Come. No, just take it all off. Take it all off. Strip it down.
I don't want to be the best gym in New Jersey. I want to be the best in the world.
All right, Joe! Go, 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 go! Go, Joe! Yeah! Yeah!
My father, I know it's a very special day for him. It's surprising for me because I really didn't think he had this many friends. Even with me with football, was asking to get me ready for football season, which I don't know if it was a mistake or not, but it trained me throughout the summer. I don't even know if you call it training. It was more like torture. Even sometimes now, my nose will bleed for no apparent reason.
I begged my dad to, let me start lifting weights with him forever. He finally let me in 7th grade go to his gym. It was in Paterson, New Jersey, in a bad section of the neighborhood. Not really, the nicest town. A lot of stolen cars and crime in that area. It was a great gym. It was on top of a dye factory. There was no ventilation. There was one little fan, hot as hell from the dye factory downstairs.
And everything in this gym was homemade. We had a welder come in every weekend. He says, all you have to show me is a picture of the piece of equipment that you want and I'll make it for you. He was unbelievable. Nothing fancy, but it did the job. And the other thing is that you weren't allowed to take any type of drug. If we thought that you were taking steroids, you're out. And there's a few guys that we had kicked out.
My dad led by example. He never took an illegal drug in his life, a performance-enhancing drug in his life, and if he suspected you were, I watched him physically kick people out of his gym, and he'd make grown men cry. They still had that respect for my dad and a little bit of fear, you might say, because everybody knew he did it the right way. But in order for him to do it the right way, he had to take things to the extreme. He worked out to the extreme. His diet was extreme, but if that's the way you had to do it, that's the way I was brought up, and that's what he told me you had to do, because we didn't do it. We didn't take any shortcuts.
Everything was big in Joe's life. He had a calendar he put inside a kitchen cabinet door, and he was always counting the days to something. If it was his birthday, the end of summer, last day of school, whatever. Everything was special. Everything was big.
We always said to Joe, when you go to work, you have to love your work. Or what's the use to it? I mean, if you don't love your work, you're not going to give it 100%.
Hold it. Come on. Hold it. Okay.
Some of the guys in the gym would walk over to me, kind of whisper in my ear, and say, "Hey, you want me to talk to your dad for you?" And I just, what do you mean? What do you want to talk to him about? And they say, "Well, we see what he's doing to you. Like, if you want me to tell him to ease up, did you really want to be here?" And it always shocked me that they were saying this, because I begged my dad. I wanted to be there, and I think a lot of people never saw a 7th or 8th grade kid push to that level.
One night when I was at the gym and I was training Joe, my wife asked if she could come. So I said, yeah, matter of fact, know what you do? Why don't you film us lifting? And as he's doing the leg presses, I said, I want 10 reps, Joe. So he knocks out 10. I said, Joe, you gotta give me 2 more. So he knocks out 2 more. I said, Joe, 1 more. Give me another one. You can do it. 10 reps turned out to be 18 reps. And so my wife, she says, George, you lied to him.
Come on, come on.
You said 10.
Come on. That's it. Now you get one more. Now.
How could you lie to your own son? And I'm saying, Lou, shut up. This kid will learn the right way. I mean, he's got what it takes. Anybody can just do the 10 reps. You got to go that extra mile to be better.
Come on, come on, come on. All right, that's it. Good stuff.
Captain Joe DeFranco.
My junior year, I had some big time Division I schools recruiting me, getting letters from schools all over the country. And then going into my senior year, this pain just popped up. I mean, I'd be walking out to the coin toss, limping to the field. It never went away. It was pain 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I just couldn't take it anymore. And it turned out that I was playing with a tumor in my spine.
All right, Joe, that's the way to run. Oh, no.
At the time, I didn't know it was a tumor. I just knew that I was suffering from a lot of pain, and in my mind, I still wanted to play, and I could still picture the things I used to do, but my body, that day that I realized I was never gonna play again is really, I mean, it was like a couple days after that I said, you know what, the next best thing, if I'm not gonna play in the NFL, I'm gonna help other people achieve what I couldn't.
Drive. They are. Get it.
Sit on it, pull it! I know my legs are big.
It's definitely a whole experience from the time you pull onto Golf Road to the time you walk into that door. You're gonna hear pretty obnoxious, loud, deafening music when you come in here. You're gonna hear some people yelling, you're gonna hear some people screaming. 405 for Kush. When you walk in, you're gonna smell chalk, sweat, ammonia. You know, it's not the best smelling place in the world. And, you know, very quickly you realize what this place is all about.
There's a kid here, the most energetic, how can I describe this kid? He was so full of energy and personality.
We could do that, man. I could squat 800 pounds. Why not, you know?
His name is Dion Anderson. I've never seen an individual this crazy.
I'm ready right now. To tell you the truth, like, can't you feel it? Like, no, for real. Any questions?
Years ago, they always said, if you're gonna start lifting weights, try to get yourself a partner, because you motivate each other. And there's always competition. No matter what you say, if the person says, no, there's no competition, there's competition. When he trains with the groups, with the group of kids, they just excel and do so much better than if they were lifting alone.
Let's go, baby! Lightweight! Woo! It's the cable guy! Yeah! Hey, let's go! Pull it, fuck! Name, sit on it, pull it! Let's go! Come on! There you go, come on! Yeah. Tell him it's easy. Easy shit.
When Dion does anything, it's 100 miles an hour forward. He only has one speed.
That's why I think I come with so much energy, because I want the same energy back. You know, when I get that energy back, I can do a lot more.
Lift until you see God. Hey guys. Why are you running? Come back!
He's Superman. There's no way he can't do.
My agent recommended jump. And, you know, I'm looking at other, like, agents, and they have us doing band work. And then I seen Joe's video. And I was just like, that's what I need, just like the chains and the bands, like reverse band grips. I've never benched over 405, and I was benching like 475. They put it on the internet, you know, like it's just, he pushes you to that next level.
Basically what the NFL Combine is, it's a battery of tests, both physical and mental, that the athletes perform in front of every NFL coach, scout, general manager, and owner.
Just line up at the line, accelerate back, drive out back, about half speed.
It's basically a 4-day ultimate job interview.
I only take 15 athletes max each year, and we just dissect every single test to the point when the kids graduate from our combine program, they're more knowledgeable on these tests than I think even the NFL scouts are. Literally a tenth of a second, which is the amount of time that it takes you to blink your eye, could mean millions.
A 4.25 means he's probably going to get drafted and make some money this year. I'm interested to see how many steps he took.
Last year, Mike Richardson, who played for Notre Dame and got drafted by the New England Patriots, broke the all-time record.
One of the things I discovered when studying the mechanics of the 3-cone drill was that if the athlete started with his left hand down and his right foot forward, he would be able to complete the test in less steps.
Now these coaches and NFL scouts figured out that we're doing a little bit differently, and now last year at many pro days they switched the rules to the test that you have to put your right hand down. And so our guys did so well, they changed the rules to the test.
That is a nice call.
With the championship in 07.
I'm not talking. I'm talking about
2 in the draft. Randy Moss.
an hour or two.
Runs with some power, runs with determination, works hard. This past year with Ron Prince, the head coach, didn't go the way it hoped. Started out strong.
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
And not a factor.
Jerry Jones is on the phone.
Not go through the draft process.
Jerry Jones is on the phone.
Are you okay?
Oh yeah, I'm great.
This is a nice.
You are. We're fixing to draft you right now.
In this business, training athletes and non-athletes, I had an equal amount of both. I mean, getting started, the best athletes in the world just don't show up at your door. I was kind of making a name for myself when I first got involved in this business. So I had a lot of so-called non-athletes. I didn't like training them because they weren't as driven and they weren't as determined as the athletes were. It was like they had nothing really to train for. Once you get to your chest, now use your legs. Dip down, pop it up, good. That's it.
There's something about the whole experience of training to me which I think is beyond description. People don't understand. You can't get them to understand. My name is Jeff Sika. I'm 40 years old. I'm a wealth manager, senior vice president of an investment firm. I found the investment business was hired based on the fact that I said that I'm willing to do anything to succeed, that this was my chance and I wouldn't let the gentleman who hired me down. I gave no acknowledgement to the potential of failure. Whatever it takes, I'm going to do. I'm going to find the people who succeed and I'm going to do exactly what they're doing. I'm going to show up in the morning first, and I'm gonna wait till the last guy leaves before I leave. You know, I don't have any excuses. If I don't succeed, it's my own fault.
Pull, good.
I had gotten sick in 2001.
Nice job.
I got the flesh-eating bacteria in my face, and it spread to my chest and near my brain. I was in intensive care, and I almost died. I spent a year without even being able to stay up after 5 o'clock. I'd have to go right to bed. It was a very long recovery. It was very, very difficult. I said I want to get back into working out. Well, I said, who's the best trainer in New Jersey? My junior partner, Brian, said, well, the best trainer in the country is Joe DeFranco.
The thing that's different about Jeff is he has that same mentality as an athlete. Even though he's not an athlete anymore, he comes in here and he has goals. He wants to get stronger. He wants to get better at all the lifts. So when he comes in here, he's training for something. Even though technically he doesn't have to, he's training for something. So I treat Jeff like an athlete.
And I walked in there and there was such an environment, and there were people in there that were just, you know, working so incredibly hard. People are throwing up in the corner, the music is blasting. I looked around and there's college and NFL guys and high school kids. And I have to honestly say that at first I said I might be a little too old to be in here. At that point I was so weak. And when I drove out of there, I felt so tremendously good. I said, you know what, I really don't care. I'm just gonna stick with this. So I stayed committed.
If a kid calls me and says, listen, I live 3 hours away, I can only train with you guys 1 day a week. What's the day that I could get the best bang for my buck? It's Saturday. You're getting strength, you're getting endurance, you're getting mental toughness. The competitive nature of it is completely different than when you're in the gym. When you get outside here in the parking lot with the dumpster, the gravel, it's a completely different animal. We have a 600-pound tire, which we flip for time. It's crazy how strong our athletes have gotten. We've been using a 400 to 500-pound tire for the past 4 years. This year we went to a 600-pound tire. First week, a lot of our strongest guys couldn't even flip it once. Now Saturday, guys are probably gonna flip it 6 times for time. So it's not only good enough to flip the 600-pound tire, you gotta flip it fast. Keep going, keep going. After the tire flip, we go to a farmer's walk. We have specially made torpedoes that we load with weight, over 200 pounds in each hand, and we'll set up cones, and they'll do a zigzag walk around cones down to the dumpster and back. That'll be timed as well. We'll see who does the best with that. And after that, the heavy sled pull, where we attach thick rope to a sled and we see how fast they could pull it, about 20 to 30 yards. Going with the whole atmosphere of our gym, the warehouse, New Jersey, you know, no air conditioning, that whole kind of hardcore, you know, blue collar workman's mentality. The chains definitely add to that, because when you hear those chains, you know, smashing on the ground and you see chains wrapped around a guy's neck or on the barbell, it totally adds another different dimension to the program and gets you in a different mind frame to work.
All right, now let's go.
During the course of any repetition in any exercise, an athlete is going to have a weakest point and a strongest point. So what the bands and chains do is, when the athlete's at its weakest at the bottom of a bench press, the chains will gather onto the ground, making the weight lighter. And then as you press up with the chains, the heavy chains unravel off the ground, making the weight heavier at the top. When you're at your weakest, the weight gets a little bit lighter. As you get stronger and your leverage increases, the weight gets heavier at the top. So you're really training your muscles through a full range of motion. How the bands differ from the chains is that the bands actually accelerate the eccentric portion of the lift. Strapped onto the bottom of the rack, the bands will actually pull the bar down faster than it would normally go. What that does is it stretches the muscle quicker. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So if we could stretch our muscles faster, they're gonna contract faster and more explosively on the way up. So using the bands is a great way not only to develop strength, but to also develop explosive power in our athletes. If you only lift heavy weights day in and day out, your athletes will get bigger and stronger, but they can become slower and less mobile. So what we do is incorporate dynamic or explosive movements into our strength training program to build explosive force in our athletes. It's impossible to jump onto a box slowly. Your muscles have to contract quickly and explosively, and that's very important for athletes to train that aspect. In order to land on this box, you have to develop incredible mobility and flexibility in your lower body. If you look at a guy with a great box jump like Mike Wadango, when he lands on this box, his knees are almost up into his chest. He's in a deep squat position. That takes a tremendous amount of flexibility and mobility.
I could have been a punk kid.
Mike, we definitely have a love-hate relationship. The best way you could describe Mike is he's an asshole. Like that's what he is, you know, and we love him, but he starves for the attention in this gym. He needs to be the center of attention, and if he doesn't get the center of attention, he's like a little kid, you know, yelling at his mommy and daddy to look at him.
What a pussy. I know, it's just something about the box, it's made of metal.
With that being said, though, the kid brings an intensity to this gym that not a lot of other kids bring.
Go on, Mike! Hey! Go on, Mike! Wait for the down. Down, 1. Down, 2. Down, 3. Down, 4.
He's the most overachieving athlete we ever had. He's not supposed to be as good as he is.
I don't have the ability that, you know, a lot of people have. And I know I need to bring something extra to the table.
This is the record. Lewis got 605.
Whether it's, you know, up here or in here. I need to have more heart than anyone. I can't give up.
Damn. A guy like Wadango is really what helped build this gym and make it what it is today.
Come on. Under control. Let's go.
And we have some of the hardest working athletes in the world in here, if not the hardest working athletes in the world. I truly believe that. It's kind of cool that I could throw a video on YouTube or throw a video on my website and show the world what some of these lesser known athletes are doing, and I think that motivates people.
Too easy. 315. 315. 315. 315.
For guys like Mike Wadango, who maybe, you know, goes to a smaller school, not on national television playing baseball every week. 36. 37. And the internet has helped us give credit to some of the lesser known athletes throughout the country. And it's helped me reach out to people all over the world. I would have never met Craig and Dean if it wasn't for the internet.
The warehouse setting, it didn't put me off. It was the people when you get into the gym that kind of throw you. It's like the first time I've ever been intimidated in my life.
So we turned up on the first day. Obviously, we turned up at Glenrock train station. We had to figure out how to get there first. We started walking the wrong way out the train station because we didn't know which way to go towards him. So we walked this 2 miles into an industrial park. We were like, are we sure we're in the right place? We were still unsure where to go. We were shocked with like the surroundings and what area and the people, like meatheads from New Jersey, basically.
Why are you guys here?
We play rugby. Like when we go home, just need to get bigger and fitter for the season, basically.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, man.
Couldn't do that in England. I had to come all the way over here, huh? So you guys, what's this? What are these shorts you got on? Cougar?
Rugby shorts.
Rugby shorts?
Bit short, like we like to show our knees off.
Short shorts. All right, whatever floats your boat, guys.
I kind of warned all of our local athletes that we had these two big-time rugby players from England come in. You know, I warned them that these guys were going to be big and jacked and athletic and in shape. And when they walked through the door, we all had, you know, quite a shock seeing these two little short, you know, pudgy kids from England coming in.
If you lean too much and you're looking down, you're gonna do face plant. It's gonna spit you out the back.
Kind of makes me laugh knowing that they were concerned that they wouldn't be able to get in good enough shape training with us, and yet they couldn't even really make it through that first workout.
All right, you guys are on the tread, so let's go. Get that lean, walk forward, get the lean. Right arm forward, left arm back, left arm back.
Oh boy.
Drive, back, push, lean, go. Right arm forward, left arm, good. And then just exchange, push back with both feet. Get ready. Go, push. Now drive, fast. Arms, fast arms. You're all up here, it's why it's screwing you up. You started at the wrong time. You get the double beep, then it goes. Beep, beep. And then boom, and then go. Go, drive. Push it back, faster. Go, drive now, drive, push it back, go. Push it back, there you go, now faster. Keep going. Good, relax. Next up.
One of the traditions that I have here at the gym is after an athlete completes his first workout, we give him a DeFranco's training t-shirt.
And then tomorrow, 10:30. All right, man. Let me grab you. What size t-shirt you take? You know we wear them, you know, smaller in New Jersey. Yeah. You have to. We do the opposite. We wear tight shirts and loose shorts. You guys go baggy shirts and tight, short shorts.
It's kind of like a badge of honor for an athlete to be wearing a DeFranco's training t-shirt because it shows that he's been through one of our workouts. Dean was the first athlete that went through his first workout and didn't receive a t-shirt.
What have you got to lose? £10 he wants me to lose from that get a shirt.
£10 for a t-shirt.
After watching the lack of condition he was in, and he was a little bit overweight, to put it nicely, and the fact that he couldn't even run on that tread sled, I didn't give him a t-shirt because I just didn't have it in me to, you know, think about that kid walking around New Jersey or New York City with my name on his chest.
With the t-shirt will come when you hit 215, which could happen tomorrow after tomorrow's workout.
And he got one of them and I didn't. It's not very fair. It's too tight on you. It's not fair. I always get bullied.
They might have thought they were intimidated, you know, by the guys that were here.
I didn't expect American kids to be fed fertilizer.
Yeah.
They grow like weeds, height-wise.
They're ridiculous. Like when I turned up, I thought they were maybe our age, a couple of years older. But a couple
they're like
of
17 and 6.5 foot.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know how they grow them that big over here.
The guys that are here might not have been intimidated by them, but they definitely have stepped up their game because they see what these two guys are going through. And they don't even know it, but they almost make my job easier because I could have a 6'5", 300-pound football player ready to quit on me. I'm like, hey, these two guys, you know, came from England. They're sleeping in the same bed together. They basically walk to the gym. They're half your size, and they're going through the workout, so you can't complain about anything. You know, look what these guys are doing.
There we go. Drive it.
Misery loves company. So as soon as, you know, a guy's, you know, doing a conditioning workout and it's 102 degrees out and he wants to quit, all he needs is that one person in his ear saying, oh, this sucks. Why are we doing this? This isn't worth it. My buddies aren't doing this, and they're still good at their sport. You know, they're down the shore right now or something. You get one or two of those, it's like a cancer. It'll just spread. You get two guys like them come in here and you see their energy. I mean, Craig was dragging, you know, pushing the prowler on his knees last week and still comes in here, you know, ready to perform each day.
Go! Jersey style right here. Come on, keep coming. We're almost there. Don't stop. Don't stop. Come on, Craig. You're here. Keep coming. Keep coming. Get him going. We got 2 yards. Let's go. Drive. Keep coming. We got to get it to the cone. No exceptions. Let's go. No exceptions. Get me to the cone. Push. Give me one more push. Good. Who's up? Let's go. Come on.
The prowler is one of the best training tools that has come out. It's funny because in this day and age, everybody's trying to be more fancy and things have gone to such another level, but The piece of equipment that really has become the most famous and the most valuable in our gym is the prowler. I mean, it's famous.
The prowler is like one of the worst things in the world I've ever done. It's like I'm giving birth every time I do it.
The prowler is one of the most insane pieces of physical fitness equipment I think ever invented. It's straight out of the medieval torture chambers. It's insane.
Final sprint of the Prowler Challenge. Oh, he's going slow. He's in trouble. You gotta keep it moving, you can't stop.
Athletes basically fear the prowler. You would think it's a person, but when you say we're busting out the prowler, I mean, guys run into the bathroom, they get, their stomachs get queasy just thinking about it.
I don't know whether I'm gonna pass out or whether I'm gonna, spit up blood. That's where that piece of equipment takes you.
No! No! Oh shit, he's not winning it, man.
Don't puke in the gym.
The position that it puts your body in, that low angle coupled with sprinting, it's a very, very tough position to be in.
It's a relatively simple activity, but what it does to you chemically or physically, feel like you've been holding your breath.
When you sprint with the prowler, it creates lactic acid buildup in your legs. Basically, a lot of athletes need to be able to overcome that. So there's what we call lactic acid tolerance training. A guy like Duchon, we have boxers in here who say, man, in that 8th to 10th round, my legs just feel like they're getting that lactic acid buildup. And what the prowler does is it enables us to train in that uncomfortable environment, even worse than what you're gonna go through during a sporting event. So when you go back to your sporting event, your body's used to that lactic acid buildup and it knows how to clear out the lactic acid.
Boxing is definitely hard. I would have to say boxing is one of the hardest sports to do because you probably need the most conditioning for boxing. My name is Duchon Johnson. Fight junior middleweight 152 to middleweight 165 amateur.
In the boxing world, he's a top amateur boxer. He's very well respected. You walk into a boxing gym with Duchon, they know who he is. In here, he's a 160-pound skinny weak kid.
But coming in here and doing the workout is like totally different. You're working out muscles you've never worked out before, doing things that I've never even heard of before.
Nice, finish strong. Good, a little harder. There you go.
I think I actually remember the first day him coming in here, EJ made a comment to him. Duchon's a 160-pound kid at 6'1", skinny kid. EJ's, one of the main guys here, talking about, oh, you're a boxer. He's like, yeah, you might be a boxer, but I don't know, man. I think I could still knock you out. Duchon, without missing a beat, looked right at him, looked him up and down, said, I don't see any muscle on your chin right there. You would have a chance.
I'm not gonna lie, I came in here and I was like, I'm a boxer. I played basketball, I played every sport. I'm in shape. I run like 5.5 to 6.5 miles a day. It's gonna be a piece of cake. How hard can lifting weights be? And like halfway through the workout, I felt like I was gonna pass out. I felt lightheaded. And I was like, man, this is tough.
So to come into a really uncomfortable environment for him says something about him. Go work on your weaknesses, go where you're not comfortable. Don't just surround yourself with what you're comfortable with. And Duchon is a great example of that. And I think all great athletes could learn from that.
Come on, EJ, be the man, let's go.
Here you go, big dogs, move on. Let's go, EJ. Turn that shit up.
EJ's a kid, physically, one of the best athletes I've ever come across in my entire career in this business.
10-10. Woo! Woo! Light him up, baby! Woo!
He's got all the tools in the world. I mean, working class, Jersey guy, strong, fast, tough. He's got that, I like to think of it as that Jersey mentality.
Down, 21. Down, 22. Down, 23.
People say, you got hurt your senior year. You know, he's a little bit off the radar as far as scouts are concerned. Kid just won't give up. He's not quitting. 24. 25. He's in here every day. He's on time. He's ready to go. You know, training for his NFL Pro Day. Dedicated, just dedicated his life to try and to achieve his goal.
Time to get swole.
Hey! All day, kid! You been here all day!
Everything I pretty much do here, hard work, and football, all comes back to my family and mostly my mom. She had such a hard time raising 3 kids on her own. Anytime I feel down on myself, and I get a little ahead of myself, and I start thinking about blaming other people, she'll remind me. She say, hey, you know, this is what you put yourself into. I mean, you can blame it on your coach, you can blame it on this guy, next guy, but it comes down to you. What are you doing?
Struggle's a part of life for everybody. Everybody has some form of fashion, you know, struggled. Something bad happened to everybody, you know. You meet somebody that I know ain't nothing bad happened to, you let me know. I tell them to play the lottery. You know, I feel like if everything's handed to you, then, you know what I'm saying, if something bad happens, you can fall apart. That's my man right there, you know. I've been looking at him since he was a little kid, you know what I mean? I'm not saying like I'm his pops, but like, you know, I was his older brother, so I try to play that role to the fullest. Father figure is important in your life, man. If you ain't got that, man, you gotta be a strong-willed person to come out all right, you know, because so many temptations in life that steer you sideways.
I remember getting nervous as hell just watching my dad arm wrestle. It was crazy because, you know, you're a young kid, you're always looking up to your dad, and I saw how hard he trained. And even arm wrestling, it's not like it's a pro sport. That's just something he did on the side to be competitive. And it was weird because it was always like in a bar or something, and I'm like a 7-year-old kid in a bar. You know, my dad would like sneak me and my sister in, you know, we'd have to sit away from the bar. The guys that he was arm wrestling were just chugging down beers and, you know, eating potato chips and peanuts before the matches. My dad would bring grilled chicken breasts in a Tupperware container to the bar and be eating in between matches before he was about to arm wrestle somebody. You would think he was about to kill him. And he just flipped that switch. The intensity was phenomenal watching that. And, you know, he was third in the world in arm wrestling. So it definitely paid off for him. You know, an obscure sport like that, he took himself to be one of the best in the world. And it was the dedication, the training, and then just that mental edge, that attitude of intensity and just refusing to lose. And I mean, he rarely ever lost. We don't like to lose in my family at all, no matter what. It could be, you know, a bench press contest or checkers. We don't like to lose.
Hang in there. 14 seconds. 10.
Hang in there, man.
My name is Bill McDonald. I have a son that's 13 years old. His name is Mitchell McDonald. Going into high school this year, and decided to start wrestling about 2 years ago. His first season when he wrestled, he lost 12 matches. He got pinned 12 times. It was just a tough thing for us to sit in the bleachers. I didn't use much film when I had to tape his bouts. And when we had to go through the bouts and we sat with him, it went real quick. This is where you were. The guy grabbed your leg and you were pinned.
Mitchell, he's probably the last athlete you would ever think would train at a place like this. You know, first day that kid walks in, people are like, man, you know, how old is that kid? What's he doing here? You know, what sport does he play? Does he even play a sport? And just instantly earn the respect of this gym.
As a father, I was first almost felt sorry for him, that he went out there and would just get pinned so quick. And, you know, I thought that maybe he was just doing it for me. You know, Dad said, do you want to try the sport? And he said, sure. And I really didn't expect that he would turn around and say, I want to wrestle again next year. That surprised me. I didn't think any kid that would get beat up as much as he did would want to go on for the next year. And I says, well, what do you want to do? He says, I want to work harder.
This right now is Upper Saddle River. This is where I grew up. They start off these houses selling at like, you know, $4 million, $5 million. I work at baseball because I enjoy doing baseball. Like, this is what I want to do with my life. I'm not some kid on the streets playing basketball, playing until the lights go out, because this is my way out. Kids growing up around here don't have a clue. Like, even me. Like, I don't have a clue. I have no idea what it's like to be broke. No idea.
Then we're going to cross the street this way.
This is like, when I think about home, this is what I think about right here.
There's so much violence around here back in the days where we had to hold our own, you know? It's like people just didn't care. They just come walk right here, stop right here and want to make a drug sale. Nah, man, get up out of here. You know? There was a lot of fights out here because of that, you know? Trying to keep the peace in front of my mother's house.
Yeah, I seen someone get shot like shot like right at that stop sign.
Yeah,
Whatever.
yeah, it was this, what was his name?
That's the last name.
Yeah,
what?
The last name was Smith, that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
You know, I can't give out full names.
Yeah, it was bad, man.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. His whole chest just blew out right here in front of our eyes. I was like, whoa.
My father, he's the one that instilled hard work in me. When it would snow outside, come in, you want to make some money, put some boots on, put on a jacket, and we'd go from door to door. We'd shovel your yard for like $10. And I mean, not just the walkway. We'll shovel your walkway, the parking lot, shovel the sidewalk. We walked from one side of the city all the way to the other side.
Hey, you're gonna go hard or go home. Keep going. Come on, come on.
Oh, all that protein.
No, peaches, there's no protein.
No, peaches.
Everything worked out according to plan for Deion. I mean, he went into camp. Again, he was somewhat of a long shot, late round draft pick, but everybody in this gym, everybody that knows Deion knew that he was going to make it. And he went into camp, he kicked butt, he wasn't intimidated. He made the team first of all, which was somewhat of a long shot. Then after making the team, a couple weeks into the season, he becomes the full-blown starter for the Dallas Cowboys, which is absolutely phenomenal coming from where he came from.
There's two different types of people. You're gonna meet a lot of people who say they wanna win, they wanna win, they wanna win, they wanna win. All right, but not everybody is willing to work to win. Not everybody wants to work. Everybody wants to win, but they'll do it tomorrow. But then you got guys coming from other countries to come here and train with Joe. I mean, those are people who wanna win. You won't make it here if you don't bring it. The environment breeds like winners. So if you come here without a winner's mentality, you will feel so uncomfortable, you'll find somewhere else to train. We're out there pulling the sled and stuff like that. I mean, no person in their right mind is gonna do that, you know? But if you wanna win, you will.
If I see potential in you, and I'm like, keep going, don't stop, keep going, and you just stop, like, it just, like, I don't know, it just pisses me off because I know what you're capable of. Even if you don't realize it, I already know. Like, I can see, like, you can go 5 more yards, you can jump 2 more inches higher, you can put, like, 50 more pounds on your back and, like, squatting, you know what I'm saying? Like, just keep going, don't stop.
You know, it's not easy. It's not easy to come in here every week. It's not easy to you know, put in that extra time, but we're a hard-working group. We're a bunch of dedicated guys, and we're all accountable to each other, and we all push each other. I'm Dave Deal, number 66, the left tackle of the New York Giants. First time I got in the huddle, don't get me wrong, I was a little shocked sitting there looking at Tiki Barber and Amani Toomer and Jeremy Shock, and I'm looking around the huddle, and I'm standing right in there as a 21-year-old kid, and you know, I know that those guys are looking at me and they're watching me every play, so I made sure that each and every day I tried to push myself and improve and make myself a better football player. And that's the mental attitude that you see great players have.
Even a guy like Dave Deal plays in the NFL, you line up next to a guy, he might be a great athlete, but you think about how you trained, you know, you're lifting heavy chains and all these heavy bands and all these awkward objects and flipping tires. That's a huge mental edge. The physical strength you gain from this type of program is awesome, but the mental edge to know that the guy standing across from you has no idea the type of training that we do, nor could he go through that. that might be more important and more beneficial than the physical strength that goes with this program.
That's why it's so important to train to failure, to train to, you can't move the weight, you can't do another step. You're 100% spent, because that's what life is. When you feel like you're 100% spent, when you feel like you have nothing left to give, and you just give that extra.
In terms of drive and determination, you know, this kid has as much ambition as a college guy or an NFL guy. He lost every match his first year. That was last year. Started training back in December. He was actually winless at that point. Started winning matches and actually ended the season over 500. During the school year, he goes to school, gets out 3 o'clock, does his homework, comes here around 6:30, trains for an hour, then goes next door and wrestles for about an hour and a half. I mean, he lives 45 minutes away. It's a huge commitment for an 8th grade kid.
Mitchell in general is very quiet, so it's hard to get things out of him.
Cool. Anything you want to say?
No.
Kid never said a word. You know, I don't know if I still have ever heard him speak, but man, you know, that the old expression, actions speak louder than words. That kid, maybe the smallest kid in here, youngest kid in here, most respected kid in here. That's the biggest compliment I think I could pay.
He's a great student, and I hope, you know, what we're doing carries over to his, you know, when he's not wrestling or not, you know, strength training, whatever it may be. You know, having that discipline showing up every single time, I think that carries over to work, family, and other aspects of life.
The sad thing you see when you go to a baseball game or a wrestling bout and a kid strikes out or he gets pinned, he loses, they cry and they throw their shirt. And you turn around and you see the dad throw something and everybody gets upset. Mitch isn't like that. Mitch knows that if he lost a bout, if he tried his best, then he tried his best. And I think that's what's going to make him succeed in life.
Without my parents, I could honestly say I wouldn't be where I am today. My dad was a state trooper, my mom was a school teacher. It's an average household as far as income is concerned, and maybe what they couldn't support with money, I mean, they were there for me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, my entire life.
Discipline, it didn't come from me. Discipline totally came from his father. I mean, George is the most disciplined person I ever knew. He taught them, meaning Joe and Melissa, by how he acted. He liked order, he liked neatness. He wanted the kids always to be kind, always be fair.
What can I say about my wife? She's the one who holds this family together. And a lot of people think I'm the tough one. Believe me, I'm not the tough one.
Well, I guess my first symptom, I mean, I know, not I guess, was 1986. But that wasn't anything like this. That was heavy legs, you know, and I never thought MS.
She might be in that wheelchair. But she puts me to shame when it comes to strength. She never complains about her illness, never.
I tell people, because they ask all the time, how could you have a happy face? If I were to start telling you all the things that I can't do, that I wished I could do, I mean, I could cry at the drop of a hat. But I try not to focus on what I can't do or what I don't have.
My whole life, I was very, you know, I had like tunnel vision. I was going to play in the NFL. That was it. You know, that's why I asked my dad to push me. I had no other dreams. Like, that was it. I was going to play in the NFL, and to be able to kind of help other people achieve that now is just, I can't put it into words. Like when I was watching Deion's first preseason game, I mean, I got choked up.
I've always loved being around sports, and this is definitely the next best thing. I mean, now instead of me being on the field, it's sitting back, on a Sunday and watching Deion, play in the NFL, or watching Dave Deal or some of these other guys, or going to a high school game and watching high school kids we played. I mean, I open up the paper on Sunday morning to read about a high school kid we trained or to watch an NFL guy that we helped on TV. I mean, to me, it's almost, that's my Super Bowl now. That's my dream. I'm living it through other guys.
I go to work in a t-shirt and shorts and help change people's lives. It's like, it's a special thing. And that's why, when I really sit down and think about it, I get choked up, because the gym is like my home. People come, they go. I love what I do, but when you kind of take a step back and say, man, I might have had a small part in changing this guy's life, it's special.